Hey there, welcome to another episode of VGC! This time we're talking about Splatoon. It is the quote-unquote shooter game that has taken the world by storm over the past couple of years. Now, I'm not going to talk about specifics, I'm just going to throw some examples at you because Splatoon is new enough that I am pretty positive there's really very few collectibles or things of like extreme value that would be worth noting, although there are a couple. But anyway, let's just dive right in. You may not know this, but Splatoon has tons and tons and tons of merchandise overseas, and that's where most of it is. It is crazy how much is out there. We have handkerchiefs, we have hats, we have plushies, we have an actual Splatoon water gun and roller cleaner water gun thing. We have keychains, we have puzzles, we have stickers, plushies, everything. I might have said plushies twice, I don't even know. Point is, there is so much stuff that is over there, so the only way to get most of this is to import it. And thankfully, we have wonderful sites such as playasia.com where you can get all this stuff. So here in America, where I'm from, most of you may be like, hey, amiibos, that's good enough for me, right? Well, some of these things may convince you otherwise. Like, take a look at this. I mentioned an actual Splatoon roller and gun. Look at this. This is awesome. Why would you not want this? This is like bringing a main thing from the game into real life. Now, if bringing props into the real world is just whatever for you. Like, alright, that's cool. Alright, but I'm thinking a little bit fancier. I want a frosted glass. Frosted glasses are nothing new. They actually exist for a lot of animes that are out there. And you know what? Splatoon kind of has that anime feel, right? So, makes sense that they would have some frosted glasses. So here's a couple of them, and I personally think they are phenomenal. I really do. I haven't even ever played Splatoon, if I'm being honest with you, and yet I want these. Specifically, I want this one right here. There's just something about the color scheme that screams to my personality. Now, I mentioned before that they have keychains and what like. Well, take a look at this. This is like one of the biggest keychains I have ever seen. Seriously. It's one thing if you just have a keychain with a little squid on it, different colors, that would be great. But yet here we are, this thing is massive. Why would you use this? I have no idea. It's cool, but I don't think it's cool enough to actually use. You know what is cool enough to use? This. I mean, hello, you have your pencils with the colors, and you got the ink, and you got the thing, and you put it on the paper, and blah blah. I mean, this is phenomenal. This is great. I mean, that's what it is, right? You're dealing with a game that's about ink and colors. Why not have this? The concept art on the cover is beautiful. The designs on the pencils, they're awesome. I mean, this just looks fun for any child out there, and even adults. I mean, this is what amazes me, is that stuff like this exists that I want, and I haven't even played the game. Now, growing up, I always used to do puzzles with my grandmother. I mean, if you have a kid out there who's into Splatoon, but yet sometimes you want some downtime, I mean, you got this jigsaw puzzle. But I mean, really, to me, the idea of doing a jigsaw puzzle about something that I could just go play never really appealed to me. I prefer to do jigsaw puzzles for things that weren't games, because it just makes me crave playing the game and focus less on the puzzle. But hey, it's here if you want it. Now, before I mentioned that there are plushies. For example, here's one plushie, and it has a bunch of pins, right? The pins they're sold separately on their own. So this is a twofer right here. But yeah, there are plushies of all the different characters in the game. It's really cool. And then next on the list, we have bags. We have Splatoon tote bags. You can go ahead and carry your stuff around and show your love. And once again, there's something about the designs, the color schemes that's just wonderful. So as you can see, this episode had no real point direction in terms of specific merchandise, but I wanted to bring a fact that there are games out there, right? There are lots of games that if they have an anime-like feel, or if they have some sort of thing about them, you can usually find a ton of merchandise overseas. And the thing is that if you don't actively look for it, you won't know about it. And yet, they're right there, waiting to be had, and a lot of this stuff is usually limited stock. A lot of this stuff is very difficult to obtain more than a couple years after a game or an anime comes out, no matter how popular it is. So the limited runs will eventually make these into collectibles. It's crazy how ridiculously simple this concept is, and yet it happens without fail almost every single time. So I would bookmark a site such as PlayAsia, where they handle all the importing and everything for you. No confusions, it's just like ordering regularly. Don't even think about it as importing, just think of it as ordering online. So this episode was a mix of showing what there is for Splatoon, but also making you aware of how to be, I guess, a consumer and a collector, and just an overall lover of video games. And this is how. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next episode of VGC. Take care.